The wizard Gandalf has chosen Bilbo Baggins to join Thorin and company on their quest to the Lonely Mountain. Hello and welcome back to the Line Unbroken, my series in which I'm playing through each of the scenarios of the Lord of the Rings living card game in turn using only cards which were available at the time of the release, in imitation of the existing LOTR LCG progression series. Here I am starting the first Saga expansion, The Hobbit Over Hill and Underhill, with the first quest in it being We Must Away Ere Break of Day. So, as I said in the article, of course, I prefer Conflict of the Carrock as the troll fighting quest. I like the quest mechanics of this quest, but I hate the encounter deck with a fiery passion. But obviously I still have to play it, so here we are. I've got my two decks set up. Remove and shuffle the 7 sack cards into a sack deck and set it aside. This is the sack deck. Remove the 3 troll enemies and the troll cave from the encounter deck and set them aside out of play. Shuffle the encounter deck. Each player reveals 1 card from the top of the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. Let's just make sure the encounter deck is definitely shuffled. And 1 card. First player chooses a troll enemy in the staging area and engages that enemy. If there are no troll enemies in the staging area, which there are not, this card gains Surge. A Suspicious Crow, which, when revealed, reveal the top card of the encounter discard pile and add it to the staging area. If able, the top card of the encounter discard pile is, of course, this Hungry Troll. So that will go again. It will once again do nothing and Surge. A nice pickle, Doomed 1. Place the top X cards of the encounter discard pile on the bottom of the encounter deck. X is equal to twice the number of players in the game. So that would be 4 cards, but in fact there is only 1 card in the encounter discard pile, so that is all I can do. All of that was card 1 because of the Hungry Troll surging twice. And so card 2, Windward Brain. This is an excellent time to have this treachery. There are, I think, 2 copies of it in the encounter deck. It is one of the several cards that I really hate. But obviously during setup I have no attachments. So that was a fairly gentle setup, as it turned out. Just a Suspicious Crow. At first, they had passed through Hobbit lands, a wild, respectable country inhabited by decent folk, with good roads, an inn or two, and now and then a dwarf or a farmer ambling by on business. Then they came to lands where people spoke strangely, and sang songs Bilbo had never heard before. The Hobbit. So, of course, as experienced players of this game will be aware, the general strategy for this quest is to try and quest very slowly, so as to have time to build up power before getting to the trolls, because they're obviously a bit difficult to deal with. Of course, the one potential problem with this idea is that because the encounter deck is so horrible, hanging around can end up being counterproductive. But nonetheless, this is still the idea. So, let's see. I will, of course, pay 1 for an Ere Break record keeper. That's the only thing I can afford. So that will have to be it. I could use We're Not Idle. Actually, come to think of it, I really should. So, okay. I will let's see, do I want all of these resources over here? I really do. So, I'll transfer a resource from Thorin to Biffa. And then I'll exhaust the Ere Break record keeper with We Are Not Idle, costing only one dwarf character to add one resource to Biffa and draw a card. That is a nice card to draw, but I'm playing the Longbeard Mapmaker. I've now hit my 5 dwarves, so starting next round, Thorin will get 2 resources, and Ori will make me draw 2 cards in the resource phase. So I have my dwarf engine up and running. Now over here, let's see, I don't want to play the Dwardelf Axe yet. Given the existence of Windward Rain, I would rather hold on to my weapons until later. Once I think I'm about to hit stage 2, then it could be a good idea to put both these axes on Thorin and have him go to town on a troll. So, since I don't have a test of will to save a resource for, there's no problem in spending both these spirit resources on a Sigil Miner, lowering my threat by 1 for Nori. So, questing, there's only 1 threat in the staging area, so I want to quest carefully. I don't want to end up raising my threat, but I don't want to make a lot of progress, so I'm going to go for... I could just go for 4. Let's make it 5. We reveal Dreary Hills, and more like a grocer. Discard all Baggins resources. That's fine. I do kind of want to save up my Baggins resources for removing sacks and also playing these Burglar Baggins cards, which can potentially be useful, particularly since I can stack them up. But there's only 1 copy of More Like a Grocer, as I recall, so that 1 copy is now gone, and I should be safe for at least a while. So that's now 4 threat. 5 willpower against 4 threat. I will make 1 progress. That's very nice. Travel to the Dreary Hills. The random discard is annoying, but, well, I don't have any location control, so I have to travel to locations to get rid of them, and having a bit of a buffer against the actual quest makes it easier to quest cautiously. So, I will engage this suspicious crow with a shadow card. Bjorn will defend since he is a sentinel and he does not exhaust to defend. No shadow effect, so he takes no damage. And I can massively overkill the crow. 3, 4, 5 attack against 1 defense and 1 hit point. The crow is dead. Of course, because, yes, it's a point to bear in mind that because the crows reveal the top card of the discard pile, it actually matters what order things are discarded in, potentially, and you should consider this when discarding shadow cards. But in this case, I discard the crow first and then the shadow card, because that way I get just cave entrance rather than crows revealing more crows. So, there we go. Not that bothered about the first player token, but I'll just put it back there. Right. And over here, of course, Thorin has an extra resource, and I draw an additional card. Okay, I will play this Daeron's Runes, draw 2 more cards, and discard Navi's Belt. Over here, still nothing really to do with the tactics resources, but I have another Sigil Miner, so I will play him and reduce my threat by 1. Over here, I will play this Master of the Forge and go searching for attachments. Top 5 cards. Hardy Leadership. Excellent. So, once again, I don't really want to... actually, there is a treachery which deals 1 damage to each ally, so giving those extra hit points, I will risk it. I do have Eleanor to cancel Windward Drain, so this should be okay. Now, there is 0 threat in the staging area, a 2 quest point active location. So let's see. 2, 4, 5, 6. And there is that treachery. Eleanor. This is cancelled. And there. Oh no, that's a different treachery. There are no troll enemies in the staging area, so this card gains Doomed 2. It's important to keep an eye on my threat, of course, because of the engagement costs of the trolls. 33 being a relevant number. And the second card of staging, the Troll Camp. This is handy. Of course, it will increase the threat of the trolls once they turn up, but it also allows me to remove the sacks with Bilbo. So that's 3 threat, so we make 3 progress. 1, 2, 3. Per Dreary Hill, each player must discard 1 card at random from his hand. Lost Burglar Baggins and a Dwarrowed Elf Axe, which of course goes to the wrong discard pile because Octagon has issues with 2-handed play. After it leaves play, Bilbo gains a resource. Now, I suppose there are other troll camps, and I can potentially manage with people getting sacked, actually. So, let's just do that. I'm going to Control N, and then Bilbo should be back over here. Thorin should have an extra resource, and I should have drawn an extra card. And 1 moment, I'm just going to pause. Right, sorry about that. I just wanted to quickly check something which will become relevant later. Okay, so... Right, I will use my Master of the Forge. Yeah, excellent. Legacy of Durin. Shuffle the deck. Now, well, I definitely want to play Legacy of Durin onto Nori. Get the card draw working over there. And then I also want to play the Song of Battle. It's a question of where I want to play it from. I think I'll play it from Thorin. So, these resources are now smoothed out a bit. And that will be it for this deck. On this side, I now have 4 tactics resources available. So, I suppose that I will start getting some attack power onto the table. This Veteran of Manduhirian, and per Nori I will drop my threat by 1, and per Legacy of Durin I will draw a card. Having played a dwarf, Test of Will, excellent. So, 3 quest points on the active location, 5 on the quest, 0 threat in the staging area. So that's quest for 2, 4, 5, 6. Once again, we reveal no campfire, yet another card that I hate. Doomed 1. Each player must choose one. Increase its threat by 4 or reveal an additional encounter card from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. Well, I don't really want to take the threat raises, so I will reveal another 2 cards. And this is why I really hate this card, when it chains into itself. Of course, now it occurs to me that I can cancel it. So this one is getting cancelled. But then I need to reveal the card for the first one for the second player. Deal 1 damage to each ally. This will kill my Master of the Forge, but otherwise I'll be okay thanks to hardy leadership. I think this could be worse, so and that was all the first card of staging. Second card, Lone Lands. 2 threat, I committed 6 willpower. So 4 progress. 2, 3, 4. Travel to Lone Lands and ready up. Add the extra resource and the extra card of healing. Very nice, given all the damage I just took. Okay, getting to the point where I may want to move towards taking the trolls. But probably not this round. So, of course, I'm really waiting for the troll key to turn up. Really need that. Okay, so nothing from this deck. Over here, I will play Feely. And then search my deck for Keely. There he is. Shuffle. And do I bring out my, I suppose yes, I will bring out my Warden of Healing, move first player token again, and heal up some of these allies. Dory can come out next round. So, questing again, 2, 4, 6. This card gains doomed 2. The threat of this deck is potentially a problem. So I'm actually going to use Eleanor on this card. Troll Key. Doesn't even surge, which is fantastic. Now it's worth noting that, of course, at the moment it is unattached, but the response on it only triggers after damaging a troll. So even though it's unattached, completely unguarded at the moment, I cannot claim this objective at present. I need to wait until there is a troll to take it away from. And this does nothing and gains Surge. Suspicious Crow, which brings back that Hungry Troll Treachery, which does nothing and gains Surge. Hobbit lands. Alright, so 2 threat in the staging area. I quested for 6 again. So 4 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4. So after placing 1 or more progress, each player removes 1 resource from one of his hero's resource pools, if able. And then after it is explored, Bilbo gains 1 resource. Let's travel to Hobbit lands and engage this suspicious crow. Bjorn will defend once again. Takes no damage, and I will kill the crow. Alright, I think next round I definitely want to push through. So, Control N, let's move Bilbo over, an extra card, fantastic. And the card over here, Stargazer, could be useful. Okay, now there are several things that I would like to play. We'll be able to play. Let's see, really, Dory is not as big a deal, so the 2 things I will play will be the Record Keeper and this Fast Hitch. Over here, oh, incidentally, I will exhaust the Word of Healing to heal up these 2. Now here, I'm fine for Spirit, but I want to play Tactics things. So Ringmail. Actually, do I want the Ringmail? I can potentially put the Ringmail onto Bilbo, putting him up to 2 defense and 4 hit points, but that's still not really enough to sensibly take a troll. In test plays, I managed to have Arwen as well, boosting his defense further, and that worked out quite nicely. But no, I think right now instead I will give Thorin a Dwarad Elf Axe and then pay 3 for Bofa. Oh, well, yeah, I will do that, and then draw a card and drop my threat. Erebor Battlemaster, potentially key. He enters play, he go to 5 attack, pretty good. Okay, so okay, yes, so questing, there is 0 threat in the staging area, a 1 quest point location, and we need 3 progress on the quest. So let's go 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How does 9 sound? 11. 11 should be easily enough. A nice pickle. This is looking a bit worrying. Doomed 1. So, the top 4 cards of the encounter discard pile go on the bottom of the encounter deck. So that's Troll Camp, Suspicious Crow, Lone Lands, and Hungry Troll. This is not particularly a problem. The Doomed One is the problem. And the Troll Purse, which, of course, also does not surge. So there is still 0 threat. I'm making 11 in progress, which is more than enough. After placing 1 or more progress on tokens on Hobbit lands, the first player draws 1 card. And we advance. Obviously trolls. Even Bilbo, in spite of his sheltered life, could see that. From the great heavy faces of them, and their size, and the shape of their legs, not to mention their language, which was not drawing-room fashion at all. The Hobbit. When revealed, add the set-aside troll enemies and the troll cave to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck. This is why the Nice Pickles effect was not a problem, only the Doomed on it. So, at this juncture, I cannot travel to the troll cave because I don't have the troll key. So this obviously is going to be staying there. I do not need to engage William, and I do not want to engage William. However, I do need to engage both Bert and Tom. So the question is simply, who do I want where? And it's kind of a difficult question, to be honest. So let's see. Also, I need to attach the troll key and purse. So practically, I'm going to get the troll key this round because I'm going to damage. That only requires me to damage a troll, whereas the purse requires me to kill one. And so I suppose I'll put the purse onto Tom because he is the one who, if I have a choice in the matter, he is the one who I want to kill. And the key, it doesn't really matter because both of these trolls should end up damaged. But I suppose I'll put that on Tom as well. And then let's put them this way round. When they engage, sack 1. So, for Bert, a deep sack. Attached to the character excluding Gandalf with the highest printed willpower without a sack attached. Attached character cannot ready, attack, defend, commit to quests, or trigger effects. If this sack card is removed, shuffle it into the encounter deck. So, the highest printed willpower is Thorin. So Thorin is stuck in a sack. And for Tom, a tough sack attached to the character excluding Gandalf with the highest printed defense without a sack attached, etc., etc. So the highest printed defense, I think, is 2. The Veteran of Glandohirion has 2 defense. So I think I will put this sack onto him, since I can definitely afford to lose him. Yes, I think that's what I want to do. We deal out shadow cards. I did not remember to shuffle the discard pile back into the deck. So let's do that now. And then deal out shadow cards. So, the Longbeard Mapmaker is getting thrown under the bus, or rather under the troll. Ah, this shadow effect is actually sort of helpful for me. So, Troll Camp added to the staging area. Longbeard Mapmaker is dead. Now, Bilbo can, since Troll Camp is in the staging area, well, since it's in play rather, I can exhaust Bilbo and ready him with a fast hitch, and spend 1 Baggins resource to remove a sack from a character. I will remove the Deep Sack from Thorin. It is shuffled back into the sack deck. Now, over here, Tom is attacking, and Bjorn will defend without exhausting. He takes 4 damage. It's fine. Now, since Thorin is no longer in a sack, he will attack back for, including the Dwarrowdelf Axe, 4, which means 2 damage plus an extra damage from the effect on the Dwarrowdelf Axe. So Bert needs another 7 damage. And over here, Bjorn will attack, doing 3 damage, and I will exhaust Bilbo to take the troll key. A key point is, of course, that Tom is very annoying and says troll enemies can only be attacked by 1 character at a time. So I can't stack up lots of attack. This is why the Dwarrowdelf Axes on Thorin is a good idea, and Bjorn obviously is helpful. Direct damage effects can also be useful. So let's discard these shadow cards. I should have flipped this over. If there are no troll enemies left in play, or if there are no cards left in the encounter deck, advance to the next stage. Anytime players would place progress tokens on this quest, discard an equal number of cards from the encounter deck instead. Progress is placed on the active location before triggering this effect. And both of the trolls return to the staging area at the end of the combat phase unless the engaged player raises his threat by 1. So I will do that. Bilbo moves over to here. We control that. And we control N. Okay, Octagon was just being a bit slow to respond there. So here's the extra resource and the extra card. And here's the card over here. I do not have enough for this Battle Master. Arwen, that's very helpful. So I'm going to pay 2 to put Ringmail onto Bilbo. And then pay 2 for Arwen. So, Bilbo has 4 hit points. With Arwen questing, I can get him up to 3 defense. It's not out of the question that he could take at least 1 troll attack, which under the circumstances is going to be significant. Let's see. Yes, I already spent my tactics resources on that ringmail, so trying to dig out another Dwarrowdelf Axe is not going to be relevant. Over here, cram would certainly be useful. I'm not sure where I should put it. More willpower, obviously, would be good. So let's spend 3 for a Longbeard Elder, and then transfer 1 to Biffa, and spend 3 for Dory. And this cram should definitely go somewhere. The only question is where. I suppose Thorin makes sense. So, there is 3, 5, 8, plus an extra 2 because of the troll camp being in the staging area. 10 threat in the staging area. There are 27 cards left in the encounter deck. So let's go 2, 4, 7, 8. 10. I am going to... No, 11. I am going to trigger the Longbeard Elder's response to look at the top card of the encounter deck. It is a location. Which means, that card is a location, place 1 progress token on the current quest. Otherwise, it gets -1 willpower until the end of the phase. It is a location, so 1 progress would go on the quest, but in fact, that means I discard the card from the encounter deck, which is the location that I just looked at. So, where was I? 11, I believe. 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. 13, 14, 16, targeting Bilbo. 18. Requesting for 18. Reveal Dreary Hills and Hungry Troll. Okay, the first player chooses a troll enemy in the staging area and engages that enemy. I was going to have to engage William anyway, so this is okay. I can deal with it. And after William engages a player, sack 2. So, a smelly sack attached to the ally, excluding Gandalf, with the highest printed cost without a sack attached. So, the highest cost is the Veteran of Nandihirion, but it already has a sack. Next would be a tie between Bofur, Fili, Kili, and Dory. Oh, and the Longbeard Elder. So, I think that Kili will be the least useful of these, so he will get stuck in the sack. Also, note, attached character cannot ready, attack, defend, commit to quests, or trigger effects. However, Kili is already committed to the quest, so at present he is still questing while in a sack. Next round, well, of course he won't ready, so he wouldn't be able to commit to the quest anyway. But even if he was ready, he wouldn't be able to commit to the quest. But right now, he is still committing his 1 willpower to the quest. And the second sack will be a 1 sack attached to the hero with the most resources. without a sack attached. That is Bilbo. So there we go. Now that has added 3 threat to the staging area, but it's also removed 5 threat from the staging area in the form of William. So I'm actually down to 8 threat in the staging area and make 10 progress. So I need to discard 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now, before I do anything else, I'm going to exhaust Bilbo and spend a Baggins resource to discard the sack attached to Bilbo, which is of course shuffled back into the sack deck. Now, realistically, I'm probably not going to manage to kill the trolls. So I probably want to just quest to victory as fast as possible, and so rather than bothering to try and get the troll purse, I'm just going to spend the full 5 Baggins resources to travel to the troll cave right now. This does unfortunately bar me from playing my Burglar Baggins cards, which could have been quite helpful to buff Bilbo up further. I had visions of potentially getting like 4 of these played all at once to give Bilbo an attack of 9 to just kill a troll, but I think under the circumstances it's better to just go for the questing victory. So we come to combat, deal out shadow cards. Now, let's see, Bilbo will defend. This attack deals at least 1 damage. Shuffle this card back into the encounter deck. It does deal at least 1 damage. So I'll just do that. To be precise, it deals 2 damage since Bilbo has a defense of 3 at the moment. 1 plus 1 from Ringmail plus 1 from Arwen. Bjorn will defend this one. Okay, so that's another 4 damage. He can't take the 3rd troll attack, but so far he's still okay. Over here, Feely is here to chomp block. Defending character gets -1 defense, that doesn't matter, he was going to die anyway. So, okay, at this point I will use my Warden of Healing to heal up Bilbo and the Veteran of Manduhirion. Of course, Bjorn, being immune to player card effects, cannot be healed. This being the downside to the bear. Bjorn will attack and put another 3 damage onto Tom. Thorin will discard Cram to ready, and then attack for 4, plus 1 direct damage onto Bert. So, that would seem to be everything. I should discard shadow cards. And Control N. And of course move Bilbo back over here. Try to draw a card here. Oh, of course, I need to raise my threat by 1 here and 2 here to stop the trolls going back to the staging area. And here draw the extra card for Ori and put the extra resource on Thorin. How many dwarves do I control? 1, 2, dwarf allies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus the Battlemaster himself, if I play him, would be 6, which would be enough to kill Bert. so long as all those dwarves were still alive. That seems like a reasonable plan, so long as I can feasibly do it. Over here, because well, obviously I can't afford my battle master, so okay, I'll transfer this resource from Eleanor to Biffa. This doesn't work. Never mind. Okay, I am going to exhaust Bofur to look at the top 5 cards and find another Dwarrowdelphax. Let me shuffle my deck. So, this being the case, let's see. I guess I'm playing Cram onto Thorin, and that's it. Over here, I'll play this second Dwarrowdelphax onto Thorin. So he now has an attack of 5 and deals 2 points of direct damage along with it. And thus will kill Bert with this attack, assuming he gets to make it. Now over here, what can I really do? I've spent 1 on the Dwarrowdelphax. I can afford an Inladris Stargazer. So I will bring her out. But to be honest, rather than actually using her ability, she's probably going to chump block. Unless I suppose I could use her with the Sigil Miner to get more resources, to potentially play something else. I'll do that. Oh no, wait, Sigil Miner is... Yes, it is a hero you control. That's annoying. I would quite like to add resources to Thorin. So, is there going to be a use for more resources on this side? I could play a Veteran Axe Hand. I think that's basically it. So, no. So, questing. 3, 5, 7. 9, 10. 6 threat in the staging area. I will trigger the Longbeard Elder. It is a location, which therefore is discarded. So 10, 12, 13, 14, 16. Targeting Bilbo once again. 16. Versus 6 threat. Suspicious Crow brings back those Hobbit lands that I just discarded. And the second card. Roast and boil them. Deal 1 damage to each ally, 2 damage instead if there is a troll enemy in the staging area. I would rather that did not happen, even though it is only the 1, not the 2. More like a grocer. Okay. Down the baggage resource. Is it okay? So I have added 2 threat to the staging area. Of course, a side bonus of using Eleanor in this scenario is that since the card gets replaced, I'm getting through the encounter deck faster. So I'm making 8 progress, which 4 goes on the Troll Cave, which is explored, and 4 goes in the form of discarded cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay, at this point, it really doesn't matter what I do, so I'll just leave these locations where they are. Engage the Suspicious Crow. Deal out shadow cards. There are now no cards left in the encounter deck. So, forced, if there are no troll enemies in play, which there are, or if there are no cards left in the encounter deck, which there aren't, advance to the next stage. Dawn take you all. Dawn take you all and be stoned to you. That was a terrible Gandalf voice. Said a voice that sounded like William's, but it wasn't. For just at that moment the light came over the hill, and there was a mighty twitter in the branches. William never spoke, for he stood turned to stone as he stooped, and Bert and Tom were stuck like rocks as they looked at him. Hobbit. When revealed, remove all troll enemies and sack cards from the game. Oh, that's another sack. If Troll Cave is in the victory display, which it is, the players have discovered the treasure cards Sting, Glamdring, and Orcrist. The players have won the game. So, Control C. 6 completed rounds. 80 threat. Yeah. So, that wasn't as bad as I was worried it would be. There can be serious problems in that quest with the treacheries like Windward Rain, just totally ruining things for you. Because of course, since Tom means you can only attack trolls one at a time, you really need one character with a very high attack. But the usual way you do that would be attachments, which get discarded by Windward Rain. Of course, the alternatives are Arable Battlemasters. Those can work quite well if you build up a lot of dwarves. Bjorn just has 5 at base. Or, of course, you can just risk the Windward Rain. Having Eleanor really helps in that regard. And, like I said, it accelerates the encounter deck, which is helpful. Pairing up Bilbo to a certain extent can come in handy. At least you're having fast hitch and holding on to his resources for troll camps is useful. Of course, I did have other possibilities in mind for potentially killing the trolls, such as, well, Burglar Baggins. Like I said, of course, if I'd stacked up some resources on Bilbo and been able to play multiple of these all at once, he could have had a fairly creditable attack value. Of course, the Dwardoff axes on Thorin. Like I said, he was at 5 attack and dealing 2 points of direct damage, which would mean 5 damage per hit to a troll, which would kill Bert in 2 hits, if I'd been able to get 2 onto him straight away, but of course 1 got discarded earlier. Otherwise, yeah, Battlemasters obviously were the big option in that regard. Of course, there were other possibilities for how I could deal with the trolls' attacks. In a test play before slightly tweaking the decks, I actually ended up with an interesting combination in, if this will load, using the Spare Hood and Cloak, because of course this attaches, it's one of the few ways of readying allies. So I ended up with a neat combination in that I had one Spare Hood and Cloak on Arwen, and one Spare Hood and Cloak over here on an Erebor Hammersmith. Of course, I never found my Hammersmiths in this playthrough. They would have been helpful to recycle cram and also just to recover things which got discarded to Windward Rain. And so the idea went, Arwen commits to the quest, she exhausts, and gives Bilbo +1 defense and Sentinel. Then the Hammersmith exhausts, and exhausts Spare Hood and Cloak, to attach that Spare Hood and Cloak to Arwen, who readies, and she then exhausts with Spare Hood and Cloak to attach this Spare Hood and Cloak to the Hammersmith. And she just exhausted again, and so triggers on Bilbo again, which, along with Ringmail, would have gotten him up to 4 defense. So he'd only take 1 damage from a troll attack. Should be fairly manageable. I also actually did on the Hammersmith himself, just putting him up to 3 defense, and of course 4 hit points because of hardy leadership. But doing that a second time would have killed him. So I switched over to Bilbo, and it worked very nicely. And I've always been fond of the Spare Hood and Cloak, so it was nice to find that it actually came in very handy. So did other things. One thing, of course, which I never got to use was Dory. I was going to have him take some damage for Bjorn at some point. Well, this round, if I hadn't just won by dealing with shadow cards. Bjorn was going to defend, and Dory was going to exhaust to take the damage and die in his stead. Sadly, of course, ideally I would have liked to have put Ringmail and Boots from Erebor onto Dory, so that he would have had 5 hit points and actually been able to use his ability to protect Bjorn and survive, but didn't manage it. Regardless, this worked out nicely. Thank you for watching, and please come back for Over the Misty Mountains Grim. Goodbye.